This is Marty Green coming to you from the Illinois CPA Society's Capitol office. This is your Capitol update for the week of May 6th, with only 2 weeks remaining in the spring legislative session. Of significance this week, the Governor's Office of Management and Budget issued a reforecast of revenues for FY25. This downward forecast leaves an $800 million hole in the governor's state operating budget proposal. Also this week, the mayor of the city of Chicago visited the Capitol with significant ask. Despite the 80-degree temperature in Springfield, the mayor received a chilly reception from the governor and the legislative leaders for his ask of public support of a Chicago Bears stadium and additional funding for the Chicago public schools. Last week, I reported that legislation was introduced to create a metropolitan mobility authority for public transportation in the Chicagoland area. There was very little activity or mention of this legislation this past week, and the sponsor has indicated that he intends to hold legislative hearings throughout the summer. There are 2 legislative measures that I would like to highlight for you from this past week. The first is the passage of Senate Bill 1 that creates the Department of Early Childhood. This legislation that passed both the House and the Senate consolidates early childhood services from the Department of Human Services, the Department of Children and Family Services, and the State Board of Education. Next, the House Revenue Committee held a subject matter hearing on House Bill 4669, which creates a small business savings account. The legislation would allow for a tax deduction for up to $50,000 that small businesses could use for the purchase of equipment and other operational expenses. Next week is an important week in the legislative process, as Friday is the 3rd reading deadline for bills originating in the opposite chamber to receive 3rd reading in order to remain legislatively viable. The General Assembly is scheduled to be in session through May 24th, which is their predetermined adjournment date. We will continue to keep you updated on developments through these Dome recordings, as well as on our website with tools that we have posted with legislative tracking reports and the morning report.